Hey everybody, we are excited to show you our new educational tool that you can create for your classroom completely free.
Hi. Using the online open source game building application Twine, your desired literature, and very basic coding skills, and a little imagination, you can create interactive educational fan fiction in your classroom. You might be asking yourself, how does fan fiction and designing games help your students? And to this, we have an answer.
By creating a fan fiction of the piece of literature that you want your students to better understand, you are creating further engagement with the text itself. Using my Twine game, Escape Room, The Picture of Dorian Gray, we can see that some substantial knowledge of the novel would be necessary in order to advance the narrative presented. You are locked in the attic with your picture. You are surrounded by things that remind you of your childhood purity, and you have things with you that remind you of the times you enjoyed indulging in the pleasures of the flesh. Some devil has sealed the door with a complex sigil, and the only way to open it is to choose the correct magic words. There are several items within the room which may provide you clues as to which magic words will dispel the sigil. And so when we click on each of these clues, we are given a small passage of the novel that has been rewritten in second-person tense. So let's choose the rosary. As you hold the sandalwood prayer beads in your hands, you think, ah, in what a monstrous moment of pride and passion you had prayed that the portrait should bear the burden of your days, and you keep the unsullied splendor of eternal youth. All your failure had been due to that. Better for you that each sin of your life had brought its sure, swift penalty along with it. There was purification in punishment. Not forgive us our sins, but smite us for our iniquities, should be the prayer of man to a most just God. And if we click this arrow, we can go back. After clicking each of the clues, a student who has read the novel already will know which magic words will end the narrative. Students who have not yet read the novel might still need to do some guessing before they get the right answer, but upon completion of the game, they will have a good introduction to the novel before they start reading it. So let's say we are a student who doesn't know. Let's choose the first one. No, we have given up our belief in the soul, and the button for it is called excess. And we get a quote, all excess as well as all renunciation brings its own punishment, from Oscar Wilde. And so that one wasn't correct. We'll try the second one. One's own souls and the passions of one's friends, those were the fascinating things in life. We get the same quote again. So we'll go back. So let's try the last one. The senses, no less than the soul, have their spiritual mysteries to reveal. And this one is titled Equilibrium. The sigil alights a demonic red at first, but then slowly subsides to a brilliant white, before disappearing entirely. You are free to open the door of the attic and live your life as you so choose. Upon completion of the game, students have a good introduction to it because they will have had to read all the quotes in the clues, and they will have engaged with a key theme of the novel, which is all excess as well as all renunciation brings its own punishment, or too much of anything can be bad, everything in moderation. And so they may be better prepared to engage with the text when they are ready to read it. Now you're thinking to yourself, okay, open source literature is easy, but what about my newer literature that is still under copyright? How can I make educational games like this without infringing on copyright laws?
It's true because you will be building a game, as we have, solely for educational purposes. You have a lot of latitude, but it is also best to use this as an opportunity to teach students about copyright itself. In building the game, you can explore the methods that many fan fiction writers use to avoid copyright infringement while introducing your students to yet another genre of literature. As in fan fiction, you can omit information that is explicitly the author's intellectual property, such as specific names, places, objects, or dialogue. And you can teach your students through active learning to apply their knowledge of literature, writing, and digital design in a way that embodies all that is exciting about the participatory culture of fan fiction. In our game, Escape the Apocalypse Through Shakespeare Illusions, We use the conceptual world of Station 11 as the setting, and you, the player, as a means to explore some of the conflicts presented in the novel. We also use Station 11's reference to Shakespeare as a platform to present his play of Midsummer's Night's Dream and to explore gender themes in King Lear. We use pop culture references as both elements to progress through the narrative and to create relevancy. And finally, we use Twine, an open source game building platform, in conjunction with narrative to provide a context for the conflict of religious extremism found in parts of Station 11.
If your class is reading Station 11, consider using this game to test their familiarity with the novel. Ask your students to locate evidence that the setting is Station 11, or have a discussion activity about historical gender roles and how they have changed over time. This game can be played before or after reading the text. After playing the game, consider creating an assignment in which students create their own twine. Students could use Twine to write an alternate ending to a class reading, make reference pages for allusions and vocabulary found in a class reading, or even to present concepts explored in a class reading. Having students write fan fiction using an online game building platform is an excellent way to get them to revisit the text and create a meaningful interaction with it.
Give our game a go and see what you think of this active learning experience.
Click the links in the description to see each game and the game content collection website, which has links to open source texts and links to where to buy Station 11.